Hi, Kara. I want to say thank you for your video. It was really inspiring and really just helpful to hear. I actually had fibroadenoma, and I had been going through a lot of just emotions with it for the past probably 4 years. I think one, 2, 3, 4, about 4 years. I found out that I had a lump in my breast, I think after my junior year of high school. And I found out I had the lump and I freaked out after like self-examination. And then I don't know, I somehow lied to myself and told myself that there wasn't a lump. So I waited like a week and then it was still there. And then I waited another week and it was still there. And then I just like freaked out one day and I just thought I had cancer and I thought I was dying. And it was upsetting because it felt like I couldn't do anything about it. Um, I don't know. It's different when you hear, I guess, that someone else has cancer, and then thinking of yourself having cancer was another thing. So I don't know. The way I responded to it wasn't how I thought I would respond to it without having gone through the situation. But once I was put in the situation, I thought that that I was dying. So I finally gained up the courage to, tell my mom about it. And I let her, like try to, see it too, so she could, let me know if it's just, my mind and that's normal, or if it really was something. And she felt it, and she thought it was something too, but she was reluctant to kind of like take me to the doctor's office. But eventually we went, and they did a mammogram and an ultrasound, and they said they weren't sure what it was based on those different readings, but they said the only way of knowing was to do a biopsy. And they said they could remove it, but a biopsy would let us know if it was cancerous or not. And to me, based on if it was cancerous or not, determined my route of what I was going to do next. Because basically, before knowing it was cancer or not, my decision was, if it was cancer, I was just going to chop both of my breasts off, just like completely, and just have plastic surgery and just have new breasts. Because I just didn't want to have any chances of any additional things popping up. Also, I didn't believe in radiation as a good method of getting rid of cancer. I've seen a lot of different people in my life pass away due to the results of radiation on their body and fighting cancer, so I didn't think radiation was a good process. So I just thought of, just chopping them off completely as my only route if it was cancer. If it wasn't, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was really nervous, and I thought I should have the biopsy sometime. I just didn't want it that day because emotions were still really high. But they actually had an opening that day to have a biopsy, which I was really upset about. And so I went in later that evening to have the biopsy done. I was really emotionally out of control. They had to prescribe me some medication for me to even calm down enough to want to go in the room, because otherwise I really didn't want to go in, and I was freaking out. Finally went in, I had the biopsy done. It's a really gross experience. I really wish I was, maybe put under and not conscious for the biopsy, because I guess basically the needle biopsy, I was laying down, and they give you I don't know what they're called, when they give you shots to like basically numb the area. So they gave me shots like straight into the breast, and then they started the biopsy procedure, and it was really gross because they had this longer type of needle thing that they're using to get tissue of the mass. And it was really gross because I'm awake for this process that they're, basically stabbing a needle in me and just like shaking me around and stuff. And it was really gross, and I was waiting for me to get out of there, and finally got out of there. And I think maybe a week or so later, I got results back that it was fibroadenoma and not cancerous, it was benign tumor. So I was like, okay, so I wasn't going to chop my breast off, so that was a relief. And then I wanted to know what caused it. I basically said, I don't know. And, possibly my caffeine intake, because I really like soda. And I really don't watch kind of what I eat, because I'm like, I don't know, my body, my body shape hasn't really ever been a problem for me, so I never really watch what I eat except for, focusing on my teeth. So I start to cut down on sodas a little bit more, and I didn't try it all the way, but I tried doing drinking nopalea, hopefully for some sort of natural method to get rid of fibroadenoma. I couldn't stick with it because I just really did not like the taste. I was supposed to try, I guess, this red clover tea to hopefully get rid of it as well, but I never got around to it, never drank it, so that went by. Basically, I just watched my diet a little bit better, started exercising a little bit more, and hoped that, it would go away. Prayed a lot over it, and but really, not a lot of signs. And I know when I initially had, when I found out that I had like a lump in my breast before I found out I had fibroadenoma, it was always really painful because it felt like it was growing. So that's the reason why it was painful, but for no other reason really. Of course, my breast was painful after the biopsy until I healed. And then between the years of me just, doing a better diet in terms of less caffeine and more exercise, I noticed that the tumor was growing in size, but I wasn't sure if I was paranoid or not. And I brought it up to my mom here and there, but she kind of just encouraged me to just keep on following my diet plan, and that would take it away, or, trying the nopalea or different red clover tea. But I don't know, it just, it grew a lot, I thought, so I just thought it was a good time to go into the doctor again. So I went to the doctor, and we found out that the fibroadenoma grew 3 times its size, which they said was really abnormal for the amount of time that it had. I think it had 3 years, and it grew 3 times its size in 3 years. So they said that's really odd, and they said they'd probably suggest taking it out now that it grew 3 times its size. So I went and had another mammogram and ultrasound, I guess for the doctors to check back up on the mass and see how it was doing, to see if the cells had changed. So I was kind of nervous at that time again, because I thought, possibly this fibroadenoma could turn into cancer, possibly. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I was nervous about. And they came back with a report that I didn't have to do another biopsy because they already put a tracker in my breast from the biopsy, and also they looked at they compared the images from the ultrasound, and it was the same type of tissue, so they ruled that it was fibroadenoma still. So from that point, they sent my information from the reports to the breast surgeon, and the breast surgeon highly suggested that I get it removed since it grew that quickly in that amount of time, and not knowing how much it would grow in the further years. And also, by this point, it had grown enough that when you look at my breast, you could see the lump visibly, on top of my other stuff going on, so you could see the shape of it. So it's disturbing to me. It's kind of disturbing having some days when I just wear shirts without any bras or anything, or getting massages and stuff like that. Anytime that pressure was added to me, in that region, or sometimes laying down on that area. It was not super painful, just awkward. But some of the later days of having the tumor, when having massages and pressure put hard on me, it was really uncomfortable. So we decided to get it removed. I guess it's called an excisional biopsy. So they just removed it. Recently, they removed it last week on Tuesday. So I'm still going through the healing process. Everything was fine after the surgery and during it, because once the surgery was done, that day I was still able to walk around and just, do whatever. And I was trying to take the trash out, but my parents were like, take it easy a bit. So everything was pretty much fine. And everything still is fine. Everything's healing. Although I'm still having trouble, jog. It's been less than a week. It's probably been like 5 days. It's been 5 days since the surgery. And so it's still like kind of difficult jogging in place without pain. They did give me pain medication, and they said I could take Tylenol and different stuff too if I feel any pain, but I don't feel a need. I only took the pain medication the day after the surgery, only because when I bent down to pet my dog, I felt like everything inside of that breast kind of shift forward, and it made me nauseous, and it really hurt. So I took some type of like acetaminophen with, I think, codeine. And then I was driving the 2 days after my surgery, so everything was fine. It didn't really hurt to put on t-shirts or anything. I was just very cautious. The only time it hurts is when I kind of like hit the front of the breast. During the surgery, they decided to cut right underneath the nipple. So then they extruded it from that area. So yeah, I just want to, respond to your video, Kara, and just let you know, yeah, you're not alone, and definitely went through a lot of the same processes. And yeah, it's really weird being a young person and seeing like this happen, and knowing that it could happen again. It could come back in the same breast. I actually, in the other breast, I'm not sure if another one is forming, but it's I guess it's peaceful to know that there are solutions to get rid of them, surgically. So I'm not entirely lost. But it would be very helpful if someone did find a cure. I guess I never in my mind kind of thought about a less invasive cure, maybe as much as you have. But yeah, so that's my fibroadenoma story. Hope that encourages other people and gives other people more insight on someone else's story as well. So yeah. I'm Taryn, by the way. Bye.